Give this video a like and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you. My name is Callum Avery, and if you'd asked me a year ago whether my marriage was steady and secure, I would have answered yes without a second thought. I wasn't clueless. I just trusted the basics: loyalty, kindness, shared laughter, and honesty. My wife, Marley Quinn, had a sharp tongue, a quick wit, and a boldness that often barreled ahead of her good judgment. But I'd always admired that fire in her. Or at least I believed I did. Until the night that fire set off a blaze I couldn't put out. The evening began as casually as any get-together at our friend's house. Soft lighting, easy music, glasses clinking, and the kind of relaxed laughter that comes after a long work week. I wasn't much of a party person, but Marley thrived in those spaces. I went because she liked having me there. Or maybe because I liked believing that she did. Her sister Juniper, everyone called her June, showed up later than the rest. June was everything Marley wasn't. Where Marley was loud, June was serene. Where Marley was sharp, June was tender. Where Marley's humor could border on cruelty, June radiated warmth. People naturally drifted toward her. That calm, grounded presence couldn't be copied, even if someone tried. But the moment that wrecked everything didn't start with June. It started with a joke Marley thought didn't matter. We were gathered around a tall patio heater on the deck, drinks in hand, swapping stories, letting the evening smooth out whatever was left of our weekly stress. Someone asked Marley how we first met, and she launched into her dramatic version, as always, about how I supposedly tripped over my own confidence trying to impress her. I smiled and played along. That was our usual dynamic. She teased, I shrugged it off. People laughed. No harm done. But then she kept going. And honestly, she said, twirling her drink like the glass deserved a show, sometimes I think I should have picked my ex instead. Definitely more my type. Less emotionally lactose intolerant. More laughter. I felt that familiar pinch of being the butt of the joke, but I stayed steady. Years with Marley had taught me she often spoke before thinking. I wasn't going to turn it into an issue. But she wasn't finished. I mean it, she added, leaning her shoulder into mine as if that softened anything. Sometimes I regret choosing him over my ex. But hey, everyone makes mistakes, right? This time the laughter shifted, thinner, uneasy, the kind people give when they realize they probably shouldn't be laughing. My chest tightened, though I kept my expression calm. I trained myself for this. Quiet patience, level voice, unreadable face. But inside something small snapped. And once it did, it didn't stop. It wasn't a joke anymore. It was humiliation. I didn't react right away. Instead, I let a slow, empty smile cross my lips. I regret choosing you over your sister, I said lightly, tone almost conversational. Laughter died on the spot. Everything froze, eyes wide, breaths caught. Marley's grin collapsed, confusion twisting into outrage. But before she could weaponize her shock or sharpen the moment back at me, June, gentle, soft-spoken June, took a single step forward, tilted her head, and said clearly enough for everyone to hear, "We can fix that." Time didn't just stop, it slammed to a halt. Everyone stared, unsure if they'd misheard or if June had just dropped a grenade into the middle of the night. Marley's face drained of color. "June," she hissed. "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" June didn't flinch, didn't laugh, didn't pretend she was joking. "It means," she said steadily, "that you shouldn't joke about regretting your husband when someone else might actually recognize his worth." A few murmurs rippled through the group. The air felt thick enough to choke on. My heart hammered. Not from excitement but from disbelief. Backup was the last thing I expected, especially from June. Marley, scrambling to regain control, forced out a laugh. "Oh, come on. You two are being ridiculous. It was a joke." "It wasn't," June answered quietly. "Not to him. And not to anyone who heard you." Marley turned to me then, eyes stormy, demanding an emotion she could work with. Anger. Embarrassment. Something predictable. But I gave her nothing. I just looked at her the way someone looks at a painting they've known forever, and suddenly realizes they've been seeing wrong. "It's fine," I said evenly. "You made your point. But her point had never been clearer. And neither had mine. June's words lingered long after the conversation forced itself forward. Marley hovered around me afterward, touching my arm, making too much small talk, trying to paste normalcy on top of a rupture she caused herself. But the damage was already sealed. Because sometimes a marriage doesn't break from cheating or shouting. Sometimes it breaks from a single joke, too sharp, too honest, told to the wrong crowd on the wrong night. And from a sister who didn't find it funny. The ride home was silent. Not the comfortable kind, but the strained, swollen silence full of words Marley didn't know how to say and words I no longer felt compelled to offer. She kept sneaking quick glances at me, searching for an expression she recognized, but my face stayed neutral. I wasn't trying to be cold. I was just tired, bone-deep tired in a way I couldn't voice. When we pulled into the driveway, she locked the doors with a stiff click and turned toward me. "Callum, seriously," she snapped, already defensive. "What the hell was that? You embarrassed me." I almost laughed, not out of amusement but sheer disbelief. "I embarrassed you?" I said quietly. "You joked about regretting choosing me. In front of your friends." "It was a joke. People joke like that all the time." "Maybe. But you didn't say it like a joke." She looked away, jaw tight. Guilt flickered for half a second before she smothered it with irritation. "You didn't have to mention June," she muttered. "You brought up your ex," I replied. She huffed, shoved the door open and got out. "I'm not doing this out here." "Fine." I wasn't trying to argue anyway. Fighting requires caring enough to win. And I wasn't sure I cared about anything except the truth settling in my chest. Somewhere along the line, the woman I married stopped protecting the soft parts of me. I didn't need perfection, just respect. And tonight she peeled away the last illusion. Inside, she paced the living room while I set my keys down. "So now what?" "June's into you," she scoffed. "That's ridiculous." I didn't respond, not because I agreed or disagreed, but because I didn't know what to think yet. My silence, though, she took as confirmation. "Oh my God," she snapped. "Don't tell me you liked what she said." "She defended me," I said calmly. "That's more than you did." Marley froze. No comeback. Her lips pressed together as her eyes darted like she was searching for a version of events she could control. "You're overreacting," she finally said. "No," I answered. "I'm just reacting for the first time." That hit her. I saw it in the way her shoulders sagged and fear crept into her expression. Fear that she'd gone too far without seeing the edge. She didn't apologize, she never did. Instead, she tried to smooth over the night the only way she knew how. By pretending it didn't happen. "Let's just go to bed," she whispered. "You can," I said. "I'm staying up." She lingered on the stairs like she wanted to say something real. Something vulnerable. But vulnerability wasn't Marley's language. Not even with me. She went upstairs without another word. I sat in the quiet for a long time thinking about everything. About jokes that hurt more than they should. About comments that cut deeper than they seem to. About how marriages don't always snap cleanly. Sometimes they splinter slowly. And I thought about June. I didn't want to. It wasn't appropriate. I wasn't looking to replace anyone. But her words echoed louder than they should have. Someone else might see the value in him. Not flirtation. Not suggestion. Just truth. Spoken by someone who was tired of watching someone she cared about be dismissed. Around 2 a.m. my phone buzzed. "June, I'm sorry about tonight. You didn't deserve that." Simple. Honest. Gentle. Everything Marley's apology would never be. I typed back. "Thank you. I appreciate it." She answered immediately. "If you ever need to talk or just breathe, you know where I am." I didn't reply after that. Not because I didn't want to, but because I needed to sit with myself first. I needed clarity, not comfort. And clarity was already forming. The next morning, Marley was overly affectionate, touching my arm, laughing too loudly, cooking breakfast she hadn't made in months. But none of it erased the look in her eyes when she realized I wasn't folding this time. Her charm couldn't patch the tear she ripped through our marriage. While she busied herself in the kitchen, my phone buzzed again. I didn't need to check the name. June. Take care of yourself today, Callum. A simple message. Warm. Steady. Kind. The kind of care I hadn't felt from my wife in a very, very long time. And that's when I finally understood what I hadn't admitted until then. The moment Marley joked about regretting choosing me was the moment she showed she'd forgotten my worth. And the moment her sister spoke up was the moment I remembered it.